Ghostbusters Afterlife. How did it do at the box office? Stick around and I'll tell you what Variety reported over the weekend. Now, normally I don't make videos about how a particular movie has performed at the box office, but this is pertinent, folks. This is Ghostbusters Afterlife, the film they didn't want to get made over at Sony because Amy Pascal is an idiot. But as the box office returns prove here, well, it's painting a different picture, and I love what I am seeing. It is a victory for the fans, okay? Not for the corporate, idiotic, moronic corporations who don't know what the movie industry is about, although they like to tell you they do. Now, Rebecca Rubin over at Variety has talked about the Ghostbusters Afterlife performance over the weekend. She goes into a really great article here, which I'm going to read most of. So, Afterlife starts strong with $44 million. King Richard, the new Will Smith film, whiffs. I'll talk about that as well. So we got Paul Rudd as Gary Gruberson. The box office ain't afraid of no ghosts. I like that. Ghostbusters Afterlife, a sequel to the, well, wait a minute, you gotta wait for this, the 1980s sci-fi comedy classic. No. Rebecca, you've got yourself a rise, my love. Opened at #1 in North America, collecting a solid $44 million from 4,315 venues. The better than expected result is an encouraging sign that family audiences are willing to visit their local multiplex, provided there's something broadly entertaining to be found there. That's absolutely true. God knows I sat through some in sessions of just looking after kids and putting on the worst boring Disney movie, and they say no, we want to go and shoot birds outside. All right then, well, have your way then. Internationally, Ghostbusters Afterlife earned $16 million from 31 overseas markets, pushing its worldwide total to $60 million. That is awesome. We can all take a big round of applause, guys. Got to take it right there. It's awesome. They said this film wouldn't make as much as that, so I'm really happy. Directed by Jason Reitman, the latest installment in the Supernatural series, not a franchise, is shaping up to be a win for the studio after it failed to revive the franchise years earlier. Now, one thing to remember, folks, I wouldn't call Ghostbusters a franchise because they're trying to make it a franchise. There's 2 Ghostbusters films, then you had that 2016 Abomination, and I think at that point they might have been thinking about turning it into a franchise again, but with the success of Afterlife, I think that can become a reality. So Ghostbusters premiered to $46 million, only $2 million more than Afterlife. However, that film cost $144 million to make compared to Afterlife's $75 million. That will tell you something, okay? Making it a box office dud with a massive thud. The newest version, which stars Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, McKenna Grace, and picks up decades after the original story about ghost-catching parapsychologists, has received mostly positive feedback. Sony's counting on strong word of mouth to help the film stand out and continue to appeal to crowds over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Oh, I think it will. There's no issue about that at all. It will. Okay, outside of heavy tentpoles like Ghostbusters Afterlife and recent releases such as Marvel's Eternals and MGM's James Bond entry No Time to Die, the domestic movie-going landscape seems largely impaired. Despite rapturous reviews and Oscar buzz, the Warner Brothers release King Richard became the latest adult-orientated drama to crumble at the box office. The film starring Will Smith as the father of tennis legends Venus and Serena Williams eked out a meager $5.7 million from 3,302 venues. That's really bad. Now take the film Wimbledon, for example, with Paul Bettany and Kirsten Dunst. It was a nice happy-go-lucky affair, nothing special, but it died at the box office. Now, if you're talking a sports movie that appeals to the American senses, you're talking NFL, you're talking baseball. These are the kind of films, and those sporting elements or those events, they will pull in audiences, I guarantee. But tennis, forget it. So the lower audience turnout for King Richard isn't for a lack of effort. Smith heavily promoted the film, as I said before, and it ended up showing on HBO Max at the same time, so that probably hurt its chances anyway to perform well at the box office. But then again, maybe Will Smith's star is starting to fade ever so slightly. Likeable dude. He has made some good movies recently, but this, unfortunately, is not one of them. After 2 weekends at number 1, Eternals slid to second place, collecting $10.8 million from 4,055 theaters. To date, the superhero epic has generated $135.8 million in the US and Canada and $200 million internationally. Meanwhile, Clifford pulled in $8.1 million in its second weekend of release, pushing a family-friendly film to $33.5 million in North America, while playing simultaneously on Paramount+. Clifford the Big Red Dog, it almost gave Eternals a run for its money, which is hilarious. Warner Brothers sci-fi spectacle Dune rounded out the top 5 with $3 million in ticket sales, buoying its domestic tally to $98.1 million. So it's not doing too badly so far, actually. I'm kind of glad to see. But No Time to Die, that's the big surprise. It has made $734 million worldwide, beating F9, which is no surprise because F9 was a pile of shit. Now, just going over to RottenTomatoes.com, and the audience score for Ghostbusters Afterlife stands currently at 96% against a critic review aggregate of 62% based on 212 reviews. So I just wanted to, look at that Kung Fu hot dog. I wonder who that is. I've submitted my review 2 hours ago, according to this now, and I'm hopefully it's going to get verified very shortly. But I kind of go into why I thought it was a great film, but I also added my YouTube link so people don't assume I am a bot. But just going into the reviews here from the critics, the so-called critics. Okay, so Matthew Bond, The Mail on Sunday. The film is beautifully cast, very nicely acted, and with a Reitman once again at the helm. Oh, hugely affectionate to the original. I love that. You can tell he's taking a dig at Paul Feig. I love that. Eric Childress. It has the vibe of a Joe Dante film, really nice callback by the way, from the 80s, and serves as both a loving tribute to a new generation, but also an outstanding platform for McKenna Grace, who carries this film away from the simplistic calls of nostalgia baiting. What I said in my review as well, I'm going to say it here again, I had a feeling of the Goonies, The Wizard with Fred Savage, and the Flight of the Navigator. Fantastic movies. And of course, The Last Starfighter. That's the other one I'm thinking of. Alan Neig, for a sequel reboot, Ghostbusters Afterlife delivers the fun of the original, albeit in very different ways, and that's how it should be. Ian Simmons kicking the seat. For a movie that took decades to put together, well, this guy's an absolute fool, because if he looked into his history, he will know that Amy Pascal sabotaged any attempts to get the third film made with the original cast and did not want Jason Reitman back in the director's chair. What does she have against Jason Reitman? I don't know. It's bizarre. Afterlife plays like the equally tied The House with a Clock in its Walls. Well, I never saw that film, so I don't know what he's talking about. It's it's Jack Black and Cate Blanchett, I believe, with Ghostbusters branding sloppily applied to a shoot the first draft sensibility. Ian Simmons, the third Ghostbusters film, went through several drafts, and then he got turned into the 2016 abomination. So, yeah, let's get that straight, okay? The film is a sequel to the 1984 and 89 Ghostbuster films and brings diversity to the ghostbusting business with a new generation. Yeah, I like how they phrase that, because it's not diversity as we know it now, because it gets broadly used in the wrong narrative. They're talking about it in the form of the kids, and I think the kid cast are fantastic. Podcast, that dude rules. Logan Kim, he's a star in the making. Kevin A. Ransom, nostalgia is nice, but closure is king. A relatable family-centric story, respect for the source material, and a nod to the DIY solutions of the animated series. The heart of the film belongs to McKenna Grace. It does, but somebody else does come into it, and I think they steal the limelight ever so slightly. So guys, that's just like a bit of a playthrough of the critic scores on Rotten Tomatoes, the negative and the positive. But as we can see, the positive far outweighs the negative. And in fact, let's go to the audience opinions here and see what they say. So everybody's kind of nearly giving it 5 out of 5 stars. So Marty S, this was the sequel that we needed. The movie itself was funny, sad and nostalgic. I will be going to see it again as many times as I can. Sounds like a guy after my own heart, because that's exactly what I said. Gregory S, this was a great family movie. Grace really stole the show with her flat effect and deadpan bursts of humor. Rudd had great timing in the supporting role. Role as in, not as in a bread roll, mate, but probably you mean R-O-L-E. The nostalgia cast was well placed and not overly done. Make sure to sit through the credits. How true. The CGI was appropriate and not overbearing. One really refreshing component, there was no attempt to shove any left-wing social agendas upon the audience. Oh my God, this guy, yeah, what can I say? He's spot on, he's absolutely right. Once I saw the critics trashing it, I knew it was going to be good. And this is from Chris T. It did move a little slow here and there, but overall it was a solid movie and carried the franchise on in the right direction. Can't wait to see what's next. It's probably going to be Ghostbusters Corp. A proper tribute to the Ghostbusters franchise, a must-see movie for fans, 5 stars plus. And Daniel P, 5-star rating, absolutely amazing, full of comedy, and doesn't feel like some things that has been created quickly. I think she mentioned something hasn't been created quickly. There is thought put into the script and acting that keeps you glued to the screen. Each actor has their own amazing strengths, and they come through well in this film. It makes you laugh, makes you jump, makes you cry. I can't recommend this enough. Go and see it. Please make sure you see it at your local cinema as opposed to watching it by any other means. And of course, Danny LP is absolutely correct. That is not the way. The only way to watch it is at the cinema on the biggest screen you can find. So folks, did you enjoy this quick overview today for this box office performance for the #1 film at the moment? It is Ghostbusters Afterlife. It is going to kick all kinds of ass. Thanksgiving weekend this week is going to do that even more, so I cannot wait. So if you enjoyed my video today, folks, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to smash Master Chief right in the face. Don't forget to ring-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding that bell for more notifications for when I upload a brand new video to this channel, and I will see you next time.